Okay, it's another Sunday and a very happy Valentine's Day. This is Sunday's EarthSave and Veganville TV's get together. It's dinner time for some of us a little later, some of us now, some of us earlier, but thanks for joining us. Uh, Appreciate you joining us again. We are going to get started now. And if anybody joins us as we go on, we'll continue. So tonight, I want to share with you what we're going to do and what we're going to cover, so you get an idea of what we have in store. We're going to start off in a few minutes with a few brief introductions. We'll ask our quote-unquote regulars if they just want to say a few words, one or two sentences, how you doing, and what what the state of affair is with your interest in veganism or any topics. Any newbies, if you care to introduce yourself by telling us your first name and what motivated you to join us today, that would be great too. After the introductions, Chef Estella and Professor Estella is going to go first with her February Heart Healthy Month agenda by the Plant Pure Communities. So she got some great information. I can't wait to hear that. We have scheduled Shri, if he's expected to join us with a presentation. We have Kathy's News, the weekly sharing of some timely news that she put together. Tonight, she's going to tell us about 10 products you didn't know have animal products in them, and some information, news about a local farmer's market. And she's going to throw in a couple of vegan jokes to liven things up. We have Celine's summary. In her segment, she's going to share an audio clip with some information on the gut and your health and immunity, including information on gluten, glyphosate, and disease. We'll be introduced to a prominent doctor who specializes in internal medicine, endocrinology, and hospice care, with a focus on the microbiome as it relates to health, disease, and food systems. His work is dedicated to the health of humanity and the planet we call home, and it is critical that our pursuit of optimal health and longevity begin with an effort towards a collective rise in consciousness such that would begin to thrive within nature instead of fighting that nature that is life itself. So I'm looking forward to that. We have Cheryl Mitchell with a segment from her Food Snoop podcast. And Cheryl's a wellness advocate and breast cancer survivor. She's going to share info on how food heals, and with some testimonials and inspiration to influence and help others in their journey towards wellness. Jeff is going to share some information, a festive Valentine video, and some announcements about Ukupacha Inauguration Day. We have some other discussions. We have a short video on 101 reasons about veganism, and a lots more. So without further ado, if we may, let's go around the room, as I call it. And if everyone wants to say hi, it'd be great to have everybody say a few words. Looks like it's clockwise. Let's start with Miss Susan. Would you care to say hi if you'd like to unmute?
Okay. Yeah, hi everyone. Vegan 15 years. I became vegan for ethical reasons, but I think it's the only way to save the planet and yourselves, ourselves. And enjoy coming to this group. Today it seems like you're chock full of, the program is chock full. I'm looking forward to it. And happy Valentine's Day. And I have my Valentine's Day meal here with my very rare wine. I don't drink very often, but tonight, yes.
All right, great. Good seeing you again. Thanks for joining us, Susan.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, and cheers.
Thank you. We have Cheryl, who is going to be in one of our upcoming segments in a few minutes. Cheryl, hi.
Hi, Stu. Hi, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I come every week because, well, as much as I can. Now it's easier because it's later. Basically, I always gain something. There's always some knowledge to be gained, and Chef Estella always shares something, a recipe or something that I want to try. And I always hear some good news about veganism. I am doing one of my favorite things to do as a vegan. I am, again, it's the food snoop, right? So I find great joy in supporting vegan restaurants and also restaurants that provide vegan options, which is what I'm doing tonight. There's a particular restaurant. It's not a vegan restaurant. It's called Island Fusion Grill. It's here in Dania, I guess it's called, the area. And they have every Valentine's vegan for a day event. And so that's what I'm doing, eating, my favorite thing to do. So that's what I'm doing here.
Thanks, Cheryl. So live on location, it's Cheryl, and she's broadcasting from her favorite, one of her favorite locations. Thanks, Cheryl. And next,
Stu, what was the name of that restaurant? I'm sorry.
Vegan Fusion.
It's called
Island Fusion.
Grill. Yeah, Island Fusion
Island
Grill, and
Fusion.
it's not a vegan restaurant, but
Yes.
it does carry a lot of vegan stuff on its menu. It's like Cuban, Jamaican, and vegan stuff. I'm actually reading their sign right now.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll put that in the chat. Very good. Kathy, you wrote that down?
Yes, thank you. I did.
She's gonna blast it out to her people that she speaks to, you know, and one person tells another person, and they're gonna start to get busy over there, right? I don't know. Okay, Kathy, say hi. How are you?
Hi, everybody. I've been a member of EarthSave, I think, for 4 years. I started out vegetarian, but then I read more about some other things and decided to just go hog wild. Oops, I'm sorry, wrong choice of words, maybe. Went all the way to vegan, plant-based vegan. As like a lot of people, my only regret is that I didn't do it sooner. I enjoy our meetings because I always learn something, and it's nice to have camaraderie with other like-minded people. Thank you for being here.
Thank you too, Kathy. And we'll be hearing her news coming up very shortly. And we have a very creative person, our Linda, who's going to say hi. You're a little muted. Never at a loss for words, but you know, you're
right. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, loud and
Happy
clear.
Valentine's. I want to show you these edible nasturtium flowers that I got yesterday at the at Blue Horizon Farms booth at the Cutler Bay Coral Reef Park Farmers Market. Very delicious. You can eat the whole thing. The stem, the leaves, I don't have leaves, but you can eat the whole thing. And also, I'm really feeling irie because I had cataract taken out of one eye. So, man, I'm super seeing everything. So watch out, I can see it all.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Thank you. And on to Celine, who's going to be coming up shortly with a segment that we're going to share with you all.
Okay. Hello. Yes, I'm Celine. I've been a vegetarian for about 32 years and a vegan, mostly vegan for like 15 maybe. And I've been a member of EarthSave for a long time, since the 90s. I don't regret it. I've felt good pretty much the whole time, rarely got sick, and I just believe in it. So happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you, Celine. Thanks. We look forward to the information you're going to share. And next on to Chef Estella, who is going to be presenting in just about a minute or two. Chef Estella, hi.
Hi, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to share with you what Linda made for us many years. You know, it's beautiful airbrush artwork, okay? And always keep it there. Cupid versus carrots, say Chef is vegan Valentine, Chef Estella, vegan man, and all that. So it's just beautiful, yes. And year, I just put it away, you know, and have it for the following year. Thank you very much.
Yay.
And yes, thank you.
And there's still Valentine's. It works.
Yes. Yes.
Yay.
It's a limited edition, you should customize it for everybody. That's great. Really
That's
nice
it. That's
looking.
what I do.
And
Yeah.
we have a newcomer. If she'd care to introduce herself by her first name, if she'd like, and say a few words, or next time around, whatever. Lucille, would you like to unmute and say a few words?
I would like to say a few words, but I'm not camera ready. Is that all right?
Of course. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, I am new to this. Well, not really. I've tried being a vegetarian on and off. I think I pulled it off for about 2 years. And then one day I started eating meat again. But I'm not a meat eater. It just doesn't feel right to me. I buy it in the store and I end up throwing it away. I just don't have the taste for it anymore. It's not something it's not worth it. I just don't, I have no interest, basically. So I've been trying this plant-based diet now for going on 2 years, and I love it. So I wanted to see what this group was all about. Maybe I can learn some tips on cooking, and I was just wondering too, I think I know Stella. So
See, probably, yes. I don't.
do you
Probably,
teach piano?
no, I
No,
never.
okay.
I never taught.
Okay.
Mm.
No,
Her mother did. Her mother did.
My mother was a music teacher. You know.
Oh, okay.
and
Because
that-
it just, I saw your face and I thought I know Estella.
Oh,
Okay. It's all right. That's it. Nice
Sure.
to meet everybody.
Well,
Nice
she's
to meet you.
nice to see you, and thanks for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thanks for coming.
Hope you'll enjoy your participation or observing today. Estella is a lady of many talents. And yeah, she has, piano teaching in the family, but that's not one of hers, apparently. So I didn't know. Now I learned you're not into piano. Okay, very good. So thank you, Lucille. And that was our introductions. Now we'd like to move on to the program. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. So let's get started. Chef Estella is going to kick off our meeting today with her February Heart Healthy Month agenda and share that with us now. Estella, it's all yours.
Yes. And what is it's here? Okay, here it is. All right, I think, can everybody see this? And I'm trying to move this up, yes. Can everybody see that? Okay. All right, the host has spotlighted your video for everyone. I just want today to let you know, some of you don't know that we are a pod means a group of a larger organization that is called Plant Pure Communities. And they have pod and groups all around the world. And we are a group of them. So here is their logo, if everybody wants to go there. So Chef is the leader of the EarthSave pod, and I am the co-leader. And every month they send information, and this is what they send for the month of February to share with everybody. February is a heart health month. So they start talking about Dr. Ornish and Do It program. This is based on his new book. He wrote a new book that is called Undo It. This is the first program scientifically proven to undo, reverse, heart disease by optimizing 4 important areas of your life. These areas are what you eat, how much you move, how you manage stress, and how much love and support you have. I don't know if you are aware that Dr. Ornish was the President Clinton's doctor. And he advised him because he didn't want to leave his hamburgers and all that. And he told him, then you don't have any other option. If you really want to keep on living, you will have to adopt completely a vegan lifestyle, diet, and nothing of oils, basically. Okay, so oil is number one that really affect the heart. So Dr. Ornish also is very well known. He was his program was the first one that was accepted and approved by Medicare. That is called Silver Sneakers. And in this program and in all what he ever, although this is his new book, he always talk about these 4 areas. And one that is very important is the support that you have in the community or with somebody, and somebody or something that you need to love. If you are alone, remember, you are never alone. Some people have their neighbors, some other people have your plants, your pets, but you are never alone. And if you believe in God, there you have, if you are a spiritual person, there is something more than this body that people who meditate. So Dr. Ornish was very sick mentally when he was in college. He had a very bad depression. And so based on this one, he started to do yoga and meditation. And this is what it saved him. And based on that, he said, I'm going to be a doctor, but I'm going to do something more than what the science and only the body. So he always talk about support. So that program of Silver Sneaker is for people also to get connected, go to a gym, and at least share for 45 minutes or 30 minutes with somebody else. And of course, the stress is very important, how you manage the stress. Exercise, moving, the body needs to move. And of course, what you eat. And this is his latest book, How Simple Life Undo It. Simple lifestyle changes can reverse most chronic diseases. And this one has to do with your heart health. Remember the emotional stress, toxicity, all that will really affect your heart. All that stress. So instead of being in all that stress, he recommends about having moments in which you feel good, or you can do something for yourself. Can be a poem, can be walking, can do preparing a food. Have that feeling of feeling good, accepted first by yourself. And this is what is called to develop oxytocin. I don't know if you heard about that. Okay. So so for all the stress that people are going, they always advise the opposite, how you are going to develop and create oxytocin. It's something very simple that you can do it with anything that make you feel good. Okay. Looking at a teddy bear. Okay. Here I have a cat. I used to have a beautiful cat for many years, a live cat, but after that I say, this is it, no more. Okay, I have to put her to sleep. And after that, well, I prefer, just to have different bears or soft that I like to touch them. So this is what it creates oxytocin, feel good, So this is very important, and for him, in the program before, and if you go to his website, he emphasizes these 4 parts. So this is very important to have support from the community. Of if you don't have, there are many things that, and if you don't have anybody to hug you, everybody, you can hug yourself. Everybody, just, mwah, mwah, mwah. I love myself. So this one bring you, to that part that he talks about the support, the love, and relationships, and also are very important, and the stress management to create the opposite of what stress causes, and it causes a lot of heart problems, okay? Also by having that emotional stress added by the clogging of your arteries. So that's why that as this is Health Month, they this is what they advise, and this is a good moment also to remind you that I talked many times about Dr. Esselstyn, Caldwell Esselstyn. If you heard about, and I think that all of you saw the documentary Forks Over Knives, when he talks specific about the oil and how the oil start closing the arteries, okay? And in order to open up those arteries, is just to eat a lot of greens, okay? And so your body produces this nitric oxide. And this is, it open up all your arteries. But for that, you need to have, to eat a diet that is alkaline, no animal products, okay, because that is very acidic. And also eat a lot of greens. So I don't know if you're familiar with that, but he proved, and it's in his book, How to Reverse Heart Disease, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, okay? And how important it is to chew. I think that many times I said not only to drink, but to chew the greens, because this is what is going to help you to produce this nitric oxide that is really going to help you with being healthy and have, open up your arteries, that they are all in all your body, okay? So this is something, so if you have any, maybe you can try to buy the book, but this is his latest books, Undo It. That's meant to reverse. Then there is a video of the month that you can go to this link, Dr. Diego Pointman. He's a doctor from Argentina, and he lived in New York City, and he really started something very, very interesting many years ago, just asking people if they want the pill, or if before having the pill, if they want to do a program based on whole food plant-based. And so he has been doing that with underserved communities in New York City, and he's also a member board of the PPC, means Plant Pure Communities, okay? That this is all this information comes. Okay, the other important program that they have right now, plantpurecommunities.org, is with Dr. Clapper, okay? So Dr. Clapper is very interested in spreading the message to medicine students, and he goes to different universities to talk directly to the students about plant-based. And so as when this one started, okay, so he developed some nutrition classes. For the 12 classes, now because there is a coupon until the 21st, he charges only $200 with the coupon, and because it is part of Plant Pure Communities. And these classes are not only for medical students, but for everybody, okay? So if you prefer to purchase or give someone an individual class instead of the 12 class, you can do that. So each class is just $29.99 per class. I just went and have a look. It is 2 hours with questions and answers and videos and notes, presentations. So they are, Dr. Clapper is an MD. He is a medical doctor, and he has his own story telling how he would see the blood in the, when they went to the lab, and all the fat in the in the blood, you know, and how that's really affected. So from the very beginning, he was not just a conventional MD, and he wanted to do something different. So he started practicing and doing what is called this one lifestyle medicine. So this month, because it is February and it is heart health, he said we're highlighting masterclass number 2. If everyone's go, it's called Healing Hearts and Arteries with Plant-Based Nutrition. If you are interested in recognition of the American Heart Month, here is the link, plantpurecommunity.org/, and the program that he's doing is called Moving Medicine Forward Masterclass. So any of you can take any of these classes. There are 12 classes. You can go to the link and look at the class that you're interested. And if you can take, oh my God, for $200 and have this from a doctor who has spent all her life researching about the science base on independent science and plant-based, and really helping people. And he also helped people to get off medicines. I don't know if he's doing right now that, but his main interest in right now is just to work. And if you know any young person, whether seniors in high school or in medical school, all these classes are very, very important for them, and even for any of us. So it says there that if you go to this link and there is a coupon in there, the coupon is called, don't have exactly, but it's there. When you go, you can get all the PPC Hearts, okay? Until February 21st, if you put that coupon, so then you have the discount, okay? So take advantage if there is something that you're interested in. So he covered bone, this is about arteries, and then all the other, I think that there is another about obesity. Okay, he covered all the main organs and the problems for all the chronic diseases that people can really help themselves adopting a plant-based lifestyle. So as Dr. Ornish said, it's not only the food, because if you eat good food, but you are all stressed out, okay, and you don't have that, this one, okay, it just becomes all that stress, the adrenaline, segregating adrenaline, and you can tell when, you know, that is no good. So that's why it's good to have how much love and support you may have for yourself, you know, with all the things around yourself. If you don't have anybody, you hug yourself, you love yourself, you take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, oh, I want to find a partner. There is no partner to find until you love yourself and you know that then this is what you're going to attract. You don't want to attract something that you are always in the negative circle of relationship, you know. Loving yourself, respecting, especially for women, okay? Women need to have this support from other women and also self-love. This is very important. All right, any questions that I can answer?
If anybody wants to unmute, please, and ask any questions.
Yes, this Plant Pure community that you said we are a part of, I'm not sure what you mean by we. Is it this? Is it this?
PlantPureCommunity.org. We are EarthSave Pad. We are a part or a group of Earth from them, okay?
So we're a part of EarthSave?
We are EarthSave. EarthSave is a group
Okay.
or a part of Plant Pure communities. We are a group. We are a group. EarthSave is a group.
Okay, so and Plant Pure Communities is a part of another group.
It is another larger non-profit organization.
Okay.
By itself. It is really the sun. This organization is the non-profit, and T. Colin Campbell's son, Nelson Campbell, started this organization.
Oh, okay, and when I asked, I meant we, all me and everybody here. We are EarthSave.
We're all, yes. You are part of.
We're not part of Plant Pure.
Yes, because we are part of EarthSave Pad. Okay, you are part of EarthSave Pad. You are part of the of our organization. Okay? And our organization is just a group of Plant Pure Communities.org. So you have all these benefits goes for all the people that are in the pad. So you have this benefit of using, there are some discounts sometimes. Now you can use this coupon. That's why that they send this only to the leaders and co-leaders, all this information, okay? And we made this information available to all our members. So that's why we say we, because we are a part, okay, as Earth Savers, we are a part of Plant Pure communities.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, this is clear now?
Yeah, thank you.
Sure, no problem. Any other question?
Yeah, I would like to ask, you mentioned that he's against oil, but what about extra virgin first cold pressed olive oil that they use in all the Mediterranean, supposed to be heart healthy? No oil?
No.
Even
no oil?
Okay, no. All those, any type of oil clog your arteries, and you have the book, very easy to understand, from Caldwell Esselstyn. Okay, Caldwell Esselstyn was a heart surgeon, and he realizes that after, the patient would come back with the same thing, and they would see all this fat in the arteries and the clogging of the arteries. So another heart attack and another. So he said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And he started a clinic in Ohio, okay, very well known, and he treated many patients, and he's very well known for reversing heart disease in most cases. But his program is a very strong program. And that one, that the extra oils, because these are added oils with extra calories, they really clog your arteries. Oils, unfortunately.
All of them?
Yes. You can read his book. You can go to the documentary Force Over Knife. You can go to YouTube and put oils, Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, in order, and he summarizes there very well, all that. So we have the oils that we need to have are from the whole plant. You don't want to have olive oil, and the Mediterranean diet is good if it would be with no oils. Okay, but unfortunately, that work in Europe, but over here it never worked. And then doctors here, this is what they give the Mediterranean diet, and they cannot say to go extreme and radical and say we advise you to do that, but this is the truth. You can have the oils from olives instead of the olive oil, okay? You can have, instead of avocado oil, you can have from the whole plant, the whole product that is the avocado. Nuts also have their oils, their own oils, okay? And also, if you are obese and if you are having your body mass index will tell you how much fat you have. You can be very thin, but you may have a lot of fat that you don't know. This is what happened with most teenagers and athletes, okay? That they are athletes, that they have, and they look great and muscle and all that, and there were many cases that they didn't understand why they die, you know, when they were only 35 years old, they had a heart attack and they died, you know. And when they open up, they saw there is nothing to hide when they open up your body. And the doctors and they tell you, you know, the surgeon, look all the fat. This is what happened, tells the story in the Dr. Clapper and Dr. Barnard tell the story when they started that they went to the morgue and one of the surgeons said, look, and open up the body of the person who was dead and saw all that fat. He couldn't believe, and then he went to the cafeteria and he had to eat ribs. He had to eat meat. And so from there, he started to think, oh my God, this is something that I really, you know, never, but people don't say anything and doctors cannot say that. And the one who believe, yeah, you have a heart attack and then you come back and have another one, have another stent and keeping like this. So there is a lot to know, and I'm glad that at least there is somebody who still doesn't know that about the oils, but it's very important. And as this is heart health, how to know about this. So,
So is it to cut it out completely, or can you use like a tiny bit, like in a salad, or
you can if you don't have you need to check your fat. You need to see how much fat you had in your body. If you are good with the fat, so then you can have like in the salad, you know, you can have like 1 or 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, I mean, you also need a vehicle for cooking. I mean, you know, you usually start with olive oil when you saute things.
You saute all with water and you saute with all type of liquids, okay? And I have a book. My book is called, if Jeff want to type it in there, Heavenly Eating, okay? And in there I have 70 recipes that it shows a very easy recipe and you don't have to use any oils. Okay, so I know it wasn't easy for me when I started all raw. I would have a lot of oils, you know, and all that, and it was fine. And then after probably 6 months, I started to have pain, you know, and I didn't know. So I started checking, and I didn't believe until it happened, because you don't believe. And then I went to the hospital, okay. And the pain was terrible under the river on the right side, the gallbladder and all that. And well, from there I started trying to see how I was start making recipe with no oil. That is not easy. But you have from the avocado, you just get used to it.
I mean, raw food is very into like coconut oil. I have a lot of recipes that call for coconut oil. It gives it that buttery richness, but I guess that's probably even worse than olive oil then.
No, of course no. Of course not. Sure. it is exactly the same thing, you know. The
Yeah,
coconut oil also is not, you know.
it's a shame because it does impart that richness that you would get from butter. You know, it replaces it. So
Exactly. Yes, sure, yeah, but you know
But
that's
sometimes
especially in
oils,
cookies, desserts.
oils can
you can
sometimes cover up a lot of
butter.
flavor.
Yes, Celine, go
Oh, I was
ahead.
just gonna say that once you start cooking with or preparing food without oils, you'll see that the flavors are not as, are more pungent. They're not as covered up. The oil somehow covered up, and they don't come out as, you know, flavorful, I think.
Yeah, it's true, but also you have to get used to. So spices are very good, okay? No salt seasoning, they are very good and they give the flavor. Um, you can use celery salt, okay? So it's salt that comes directly from celery, or eat celery or any other like leeks also. They give you that salty flavor, and you can replace at the beginning. You can replace salt by the celery, eating directly the celery and leeks, or finding the salt is not so easy to find, but you can find them. Okay, the way that you can do it yourself is just you dehydrate pieces of celery, and then you grind them, and there you have your celery salt.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try that.
That's
Yes,
good.
so yes, it's just to dehydrate them and then grind them, okay? And there you have your celery salt.
Salt is another thing that
Leek,
covers up flavors too.
yeah.
Once
There
you,
are now you have no salt seasoning, you know. So there is many seasoning that come with no salt, especially for people because salt in the also is no good. And yes, somebody talk about kelp. Yes, any of the seaweed, you know, kelp granules or kelp powder also can be used as substitute for salt.
And dulse also.
Yes, yes, kelp, and I prefer dulse at the taste. All right. Any other question about the information from Plant Pure Communities? Did you find interesting? Do you think that you will be able to check these other things, or is it worthwhile?
Yes, of course.
Oh,
I
yes,
look
most
forward to that
definitely.
video, Forks Over Knives.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, it is easy to see in a video. Caldwell Esselstyn display clearly there about the oils with body oils and all that. And Forks Over Knife also has a book with that goes with the movie that has all recipes with no oils. Mhm.
Hmm.
All recipes, the Fork Over Knife, and then another book that you can also, buy is from um, Kim Campbell, okay. Kim Campbell, okay. She has a lot of plant plant-based books with no oil, okay. And she also on Thursday she has it's called Plant Pure TV. Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Okay. I also advise you, Kim Campbell is Nelson's wife. and she helps a lot with with his organization. This is the non-profit, but they also have another part that is the profit, you know. And they have she has a show every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. for YouTube. It's called Plan Pure TV, and she shows very clearly. It has plenty of recipe and show you how you are going to saute, you know, with no oil.
Okay, I'm going to remind everybody that towards the end of the evening that you can save the chat to your computer or device by saving it. So if you open up the chat now, you can see some of the links and information that we are sharing with you that you might want to review after the this meeting. Okay.
How do you save it?
Well, I'll tell you now then. Okay, if you open up the chat, first of all, by clicking on
Right.
it, and when it opens up, you can scroll up or down. And when you get to the bottom, I'm assuming this is the same on a smartphone, but if you go to the bottom right, there's a word that says file, and to the right of that, there's 3 dots.
Yes.
If you click on the 3 dots, a drop-down menu will open and it'll say Save Chat.
Save chat, yes.
And then it saves it, and then it says show in folder. Click on that so you know where on your device, your computer, whatever, where it's saving it so you can find it later. So that'll have all the hyperlinks, that'll have all the information that any of us have shared with one another during the evening.
Mine doesn't say that.
Are you on what kind of device?
I have an iPhone.
Well, I don't know the answer to that, so I couldn't tell you at this moment. But I'll look into it because I'm interested in knowing. But if it doesn't have
I see something saying full transcript. Would that be also?
Maybe at the end we can go over that together. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. And I don't have my Android phone open, so I don't know how it works. But I know on a desktop or if you're using a PC. I want to make a couple of comments, and I'm going to share with you the disclaimer in a moment, which I was going to do at the top of the meeting. But what some of the things that you can read that Vegan Man Jeff mentioned is, and a great question that I found interesting by Susan about the olive oil, because I do use it sparingly, and I understand it's good to be informed and then make your own decision. We don't judge anybody based on what they do or what, you know, if you're a vegan or you're not a vegan at the door, we don't check you. We don't ask for a membership card. You know, we want you to feel comfortable and participate as you'd like in our meetings. And we appreciate your joining us. But, you know, everybody has their own, just like if you go to different doctors or even different specialists, they may have different views on how they view things. I'm going to mention something again, and I just did a search online to get a quick information. So again, on the internet, you can't always validate everything that's accurate. So with that disclaimer and our general disclaimer, I'll just say what it is. Well, let me do the general disclaimer, which we appreciate everybody's agreeing to when you join us. Okay, and that is, let me share that. Just bear with me 1 second. Share screen, and here we go. All the opinions, information, comments, and suggestions expressed by the Meetup participants are not necessarily those of EarthSave International, Save the Earth Eco Center, Veganville TV, or Vegan Man Enterprises, and are offered amongst peers in a mutually self-interest self-help group. Viewers and participants should rely on medical doctors, registered dietitians, or healthcare professionals for decisions about health, disease, and treatments. Co-hosts Stu Edelman and Chef Estella and producer Jeff Vegan Man Tucker request that all participants read and agree with this disclaimer. And moving on to what I wanted to comment is that there's one doctor that this is not scripted, so I'm just taking this is my opinion. There's a doctor you may have heard of, and he talks about lectins, and his name is Dr. Stephen Gundry. You know, you may have even seen his infomercials or commercials. So I just did a quick thing because I wanted to add to this conversation, dialogue that we're having about oils, and I wanted to see what he does because he's controversial in some of his things about, grains and about lectins and all that. And Dr. Michael Greger, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I think he refuted what he said. So I'm not going to use the words that he used because I don't remember what they are, but you can do your research. But Dr. Gundry on this oliveoiltimes.com opinion says Dr. Gundry's olive oil, controversial pitchman, peddles a dose of deception. It features a Beverly Hills doctor making questionable claims to sell his Moroccan olive oil for nearly $200 per liter. And it says olive oil from your local grocery store might actually be more harm than good for your body. He's not an accredited dietitian. He came under criticism long before his foray into the olive oil business. So he talks about polyphenols, and he's telling you what he wants to tell you, and all this. And you can do your own research about what I'm telling you. But basically, he says, in my medical practices, quote unquote, I always advise my patients to get at least a liter of olive oil a week, Gundry says in the video, without specifying whether his 8,000 calorie prescription is to consume extra olive or refined olive oil in order to slim down, support your heart health, supercharge your energy, soothe your joints, and make your skin glow. A liter of olive oil a week is more than worth it, Gundry proclaims. So what I'm trying to get at is, I'm just telling you what may be allegedly said by Dr. Gundry and what Plant Pure and Dr. Esselstyn and these other doctors are sharing based on their expertise. So, you have to feel comfortable with the information you receive. And we're just, relaying the information that's important for you to know about, and invoke a dialogue amongst us all, and to discuss it. And, we're not trying to change minds. We're trying to give you information and see how you may, want to take this information. Any comments on that, Professor Estella? You like that? A liter a week. That's pretty good, huh?
I think that it's always
Faith
good
in it.
other doctors or people point of view that are different from yours, and also use your thinking skills and how to make decisions, how to make reasoned decisions. This is what is important, and this is what is all our society is lacking. But yes, based on this one, and until you don't have a personal problem, you continue with that. And there are many doctors that say, well, use oil, and I can use them once in a while, but I can tell the difference if I'm having, and also you have to make sure that it is pure. And if you go to a restaurant, they're going to saute with oil that is that is modified, genetically modified.
I just want to say one thing. Maybe he was talking about using a liter externally on your skin.
Yeah,
That's a possibility. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if it's 8,000 calories, I don't think your body's going to absorb 8,000 calories. I think it's for
I
oral.
could probably use the oil, but whatever. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Just a thought.
Can you allege that someone is unethical because they are in the business to profit from the product that they're recommending? Not necessarily. There's a lot of practitioners that may have certain nutraceuticals that may enhance your health. It's up to the buyer to do their due diligence and decide if it's right for you. We have great products on the website that we're sharing with you. There's an implied endorsement, but we you can ask questions. You can always find out what you need to find out by just asking, and then do your own homework, right?
Exactly.
Okay. If our Kathy is ready,
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna get you ready for your news broadcast for the week.
All righty. Chef Estelle, I want to comment. Your presentation was marvelous here.
Yes, it was.
thank you. Okay, yes. So every month I will be sharing things directly from Plant Pure communities. Sometimes it's something that we already know, but I said no. I'll I'll go ahead and try to share that.
All right, Kathy's ready. All right.
All right, we've got so much good news going on. Chef Estella dressed up in red for Valentine's Day. Thank you. I want to let y'all know I heard of a new to me, um, farmers market in Boynton Beach. It's called Bedners, Bedners, and it's in Boynton Beach. And they do sustainable growing. They've been there a very long time. They have U-Pick, and they have a huge store, which you'll see on their website, which is bedners.com. And the U-Pick vegetables and fruits for February include strawberries, green peppers, grape tomatoes, sunflowers, and mini sweet peppers. So if if you're not busy on a Saturday or Sunday and you want to take an extra 20 or 30 minutes if you have to travel far, that might be worth going there and picking your own and looking at their beautiful store. Okay, from One Green Planet, this kind of surprised me. 10 products you probably didn't know contained animal ingredients. Plastic bags. What prevents bags from sticking is stearic acid, which comes from rendering beef fat. Fabric softener also has rendered beef fat. Shampoos and conditioners. There are more than 20 animal ingredients in these products. Toothpaste, fat from animal bones. We don't really do white sugar, but if you know somebody, you might relay this to them. It gets white by filtering the cane sugar through cow bone char. Better to buy unrefined for those who eat sugar. Perfume and colognes. I hope nobody's eating at this moment. The musk smell comes from dried secretion from the genitals of otter, beaver, musk, and deer. Condoms contain stearic acid or processed beef fat. And of all things, crayons. The smell of crayons come from the smell of stearic acid or processed beef fat. This chemical is used in crayons because it allows them to have their waxy, solid consistency. All right, first we had arsenic and apple juice to consider. Now it's lead in hot sauce. From Dr. Greger's nutritionfacts.org, this was September of last year. In the last decade, the FDA has issued several warnings and recalls for food products that exceed the standards for lead. Products containing chili peppers and salt, such as Mexican-style candies, were often suspected as sources of lead contamination. However, products such as hot sauces that contain similar ingredients have not been the focus of evaluations until now. They tested 25 different hot sauces, and about 9 out of 10 had detectable levels of lead. Only 4 brands exceeded the FDA's action level, but that's the candy standard. So technically, none of the hot sauces can be recalled off US shelves. Although candy and hot sauce contain common ingredients, there is simply no hot sauce standard. Now, on another website, they listed several hot sauces that had exceeded the lead standard, and I will post the website there for you to look them up. Basically, these hot sauces are made in Mexico and South America. For now, I guess my hot sauce is only made in the United States. And we have some vegan jokes. I could never go vegan, said by almost every person who went vegan. Alien in woods. I'm looking for more intelligent life forms. Can you tell me where vegans are? Humans were meant to eat meat to survive. Do you know you're talking to a living vegan? And that's Kathy's news for this week. So I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, hopefully, too.
Thank you, Kathy. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
I thank you very much for the latest news. Okay, great.
Let me post those links in the chat box for you.
All right, awesome. Okay, we're going to move on to our next segment. We have a summary of some news, some health news from our own Celine, and we're going to start that and ready to go. So thanks for sharing that with me, Celine, and we're going to share it now.
Hello, and welcome to Summaries. This summary is from an interview given by John Robbins at the Food Revolution Summit to Dr. Zach Bush, an endocrinologist and a doctor of internal medicine, and also in hospice care. And he is going to discuss all about the gut. He brings a unique perspective about the gut. He shows how the gut health relates to both our health and our planet's health. So this is 2 excerpts, and one he will be talking about glyphosate and GMOs, and the next in the next excerpt, he will be talking about how that relates to our health. So here's the first one.
Roundup resistant or Roundup ready crops that you described that debuted in 1996. And so as we started making corn, soybean, and subsequently many other crops, there's over 30 different crops that are now genetically modified to be Roundup resistant. And those crops, becoming a staple in our diet, then we see this rise in gluten sensitivity and other autoimmune diseases, things like autoimmune thyroid disease, autoimmune rheumatoid joint conditions, autoimmune skin conditions, and the like. And that kind of epidemic-like behavior of those previously very stable disease processes was a harbinger of this gut injury that we now demonstrate in the laboratory, which is that when you take a little bit of gluten and you add it to the gut membrane, you can see a little bit of leak across that gut, the tight junctions, the Velcro-like proteins that hold your gut lining and your vascular lining, as well as your barrier and your kidney tubules. All of these different compartments are defined by these tight junction systems. And we've shown that gluten can weaken those a bit. But if you add glyphosate at even trace amounts to that same bite of gluten, you have a synergistic effect. You amplify that injury. So we published that in a peer-reviewed science journal about 4 or 5 years ago, showing the mechanism of synergy between gluten and glyphosate, and really then demonstrating the mechanism by which that happens, which is through that tight junction injury.
When you talk about this connection between gluten and glyphosate and how the presence of glyphosate makes gluten more dangerous, more harmful, I've been thinking about the fact that we don't have commercially grown levels of genetically engineered wheat in production today. But the conventionally grown wheat harvest is often desiccated towards the end of its production cycle with Roundup. It helps the harvest be faster and more efficient. So non-organic wheat today is very, very often contaminated with Roundup or glyphosate. And I'm wondering if the shift to organic wheat might help out people who have problems with gluten sensitivity?
Yeah, it's interesting. When we look at avoiding gluten in non-celiac, gluten-sensitive patients who present with kind of an irritable bowel syndrome picture, they have bloating, they have poor digestion, they have irregular bowel movements, often diarrhea and constipation cycles and the like. If we put those patients on a strict gluten-free diet where there's no gluten at all, at the end of 1 year, 85% of those are still reporting symptoms. They've, for the most part, reported improvement in those symptoms, but 85% still have the symptom. And so it really speaks to the fact that while we keep blaming gluten for the whole gluten sensitivity phenomenon and everything else, the deeper story is that glyphosate is a likely trigger for that population phenomenon to have occurred in the first place. And by eliminating gluten, you're only dealing with one of the many exposures that you're going to get to glyphosate.
Okay, and now he's going to continue to talk about how these GMO foods that are poisoned with glyphosate continue to affect our health, and how the health of our planet has affected our food.
That they've solved their entire gluten sensitivity syndrome, only to find out that a week or two later, when they eat a single piece of toast in the United States, it takes them 3 days to recover from the brain fog and the gut issues and everything else. And in fact, what they were experiencing was not just a gluten free of glyphosate, but a diet that's much more free of glyphosate in Europe than it is in the United States. The fast in the United States can come to terms with the fact that we don't have a gluten problem, we have a glyphosate problem. If we get rid of glyphosate, not only will we tolerate gluten better, we're going to tolerate the vast array of dietary sensitivities and allergies that now afflict our children. Our children are sensitive to just about every food they put in their body because the leak across their gut is so profound. So the immune system that lies deep to that intestinal lining is now being exposed to everything they eat and drink without that intelligent membrane intact. And so their immune system's constantly in this food fight, struggling for health, constantly in this inflammatory reaction to the environment around it. And so they have environmental sensitivities, they have food sensitivities, and the rest.
Well, when you're talking about glyphosate toxicity and how ubiquitous it is and how damaging it is, I find myself remembering something that you said, which is that the microbiome has now come to be seen as the foundation of human life and health and human consciousness itself. And I find that to be an extraordinary statement. I mean, it's clear that we have vastly underestimated how important our gut microbiome is to our overall health. But you go further. You're saying, if I'm understanding you accurately, that the microbiome is the foundation of human life and health and human consciousness. Zach, can you explain why you say that?
The self-identity of the human system, starting at the gut lining, protecting us from the outside world, is fully reliant and regulated by our interaction with the microbiome. Without the microbiome, we lack that gut barrier. When we lose the microbiome, we lose that self-identity. We start to get that leaky gut phenomenon, which again leads quickly. We've shown in our laboratories that within seconds of the leaky gut, you develop leaky brain. The tight junction system that separates the brain from our own vascular blood supply also collapses. And so we've got leaky gut, leaky brain, as soon as we lose that microbiome support. And so it's an extraordinary look at the checks and balances, if you will, that nature designed us within, which I think looking at our behavior is brilliant. If we as a species fail to align ourselves with nature and continue to be consumptive and combative in our behavior towards Mother Nature and towards our planet, we will fail in our own self-identity and therefore our consciousness, and we will disappear.
When you talk about us failing in terms of our self-identity and our consciousness, I'm thinking about the incidence of many neurological conditions, serious ones, are skyrocketing. I'm thinking about Alzheimer's. I'm thinking about other forms of dementia, about autism and attention deficit disorder, about migraines and depression, about MS and Parkinson's. And these kinds of conditions are increasing.
I believe that was it. Am I right, Celine?
No, there was some more.
Okay.
There was some more.
Maybe. Let's see what happened. Don't know what the answer is.
Mhm.
Okay. Just want to remind everybody that was John Robbins interviewing Dr. Zach Bush, correct? And that was from the Food Revolution Summit?
Yes.
That was an excerpt. So
Yeah.
great job, Celine. Thank you very much. Do you want to make any additional comments since you recorded that for us?
I did want to say that I didn't clarify what GMO. He does talk about GMOs in the beginning, and GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. And everybody here probably knows that those are organisms. That's a lot of our food that we eat. If it's not organic, any kind of soy or corn products can be genetically modified, and this is GMO foods that are sprayed with this Roundup. And he goes on in this interview to show how they can tell like certain breast disease or breast cancer or certain cancers. They can trace that to what bacteria is missing in your gut based on what they can tell. If you have a certain or disease, they can trace it to your gut. So I mean, I thought that was interesting too. They've had experiments and laboratory tests and stuff. So he basically, that's one thing that he said. And then another thing he was saying, because our earth is, the soils are becoming more and more depleted of the organisms. So is our foods, and it's just reflecting from the earth to us, and then from us to our health, and possibly the extinction of us, because so much of the earth has just, the not only microbiology, but a lot of biology on earth has disappeared. And so he's grim in that, but he's very I thought very informative.
Very good.
So I guess maybe what happened is it stopped at 5 minutes, I think.
Don't know the exact answer, but
Okay. Well, I mean, I could, well,
how many minutes left do you think there was before it?
Probably maybe 3, not too much more. I pretty much summarized what he said.
Yeah, I'm going to put in the chat Dr. Bush's website if anybody wants to peruse his information on the website that he has. I've heard him on several different webinars and summits, and he really has a unique perspective on those topics that you shared: the immune system, the gut, farming, and all those things. So if you really want to get into that, that's I'm going to put it in there now, so you'll be able to view that as well. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Celine, very much for that. And we're going to continue now with our next segment, which is the Food Snoop, our own Cheryl Mitchell, who is going to share her experience with us.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Mitchell, and this is the Food Snoop podcast, sharing my testimonials as a breast cancer survivor, thriver, and flourisher. I am a wellness advocate who believes that food heals. I use my journey to hopefully influence others to gain additional knowledge to help them along their journey to wellness. For this episode, I want to share the core of all my mantras to accomplish all things, good health or otherwise. It's an easy to remember acronym, IMP. I for intention, M for mindset, P for planning. Intention is the desire to do something. The intent doesn't usually have an action associated with it. I liken it to a New Year's resolution, which research shows usually fizzles out by January 31st. It's like a wish list. Mindset is where the intention takes root, where the commitment to realize the goal is solidified, where the why, the purpose of the intention is captured. A change in mindset, breaking old habits, It has been said that a habit takes about 3 weeks to form. The last step is planning, an action plan. What exactly you will do day by day, step by step, to bring your intention to fruition. An example, if it's about eating better, first, what is your idea of eating better? If it's the food you purchase and bring home to make your meals, what will you stop purchasing and what will you replace it with? In reference to habits, will you need to take the time to learn some new recipes and learn to make the meals you desire for your intention to be realized? You will need the ingredients to make these new dishes. You may have to shop at a different section of the store, buying more produce versus packaged goods, shopping at a different store than you're used to shopping at, probably one that carries more produce, healthier options. The point is, there has to be a plan. And before you get to that plan, you have to have that change in mindset to allow you to start thinking about what those goals, those intentions, those desires, if come to fruition, will look like. Hope you enjoyed this episode. You can follow me on Instagram under my public handle, the_food_Snoop. Feel free to DM me if you have any questions. I am the author of a testimonial book called When All It Took to Beat Cancer Was Penny, available worldwide on Amazon by paperback and ebook, written under my pseudonym, Cheryl Gay. You can also email me at the email address, the.food.snoop@gmail.com. Thanks for listening and join me again next week for another episode. Here's to wishing you good health. Be well. Bye.
Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, that was great. That was very informational, inspiring, and that was a great blueprint. You're still enjoying the fresh air out there in your...
Thanks, too. I am still eating.
Yeah, well, what you can do is, if you want to put what you just stated about your Instagram handle, whatever it is, if you want to put it in the chat, then people can do that. They can are you able to
Okay. We'll do so.
Okay, great. Thanks again for that presentation. Okay, and we're going to move on now to our own vegan man, Jeff, who's going to share with us a Valentine video. Are you ready, Jeff?
You bet.
Great.
You got me there?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Stand by for some.
I got a couple of windows opened. There's 3 windows that are open on your screen. Why don't you minimize the one that says Sunday's agenda?
Hold on a second. Let me see which ones we're talking about.
You got 3
In
windows.
front of mine, me.
Yeah, minimize the one that says Sunday's agenda.
Okay.
We'll close it. Yeah, yeah, that's good. All right, great. You got it.
All right. So you see the red theme.
Yes.
Okay. Let me let this baby rip. And 3, 2, 1.
For St. Valentine's Day 2021,
This is Chef Estella's holiday festive spread.
Black bear brownies.
Somebody's getting hungry.
Cabbage salad with olives. Pumpkin seed pate with tomato slices. Sliced beets with walnuts.
Haha, I love it.
Lentil loaf. Kelp noodles with beet walnut sauce. Sparkling Martinelli's pomegranate cider. And for a very special Saint Valentine dessert, very special berry cheesecake.
Okay. Um, did that make a point? I got to tell you that today we set some new benchmarks, Estella and I. You know, for years we've been producing these festive spreads, these festive banquets. The table is covered with goodies, but we finally got the technique of putting it into a video like that. Like I said before, the taste of food gets better and better over time. The more that you leave out of all the unnatural, overprocessed foods, your taste buds keep evolving and they pick up more nuances of the things that nature put in there to begin with. Well, that was an extraordinary meal, and we're going to be posting it with details, like what are some of those dishes, putting them on Facebook. As long as I have the floor, I wanted to acknowledge a big event today. Down in good old South America, on the western part of the continent, there's a little province called Tucumán. And that's where Estella is from. And it's in the Andes Mountains, and it's near the Inca Trail, the famous trail that was the highway for the Incan Empire. In the province where Estella grew up, there is an area, a region that is famous for cheese. And the dairy industry owns the province. They own the government. They own the stores. They own the economy. And right in the middle of Dairyville, or Dairyland, there's something arising. There's a little museum there. And that museum is converting into something called Uku Pacha Earth Literacy Center. And Estelle and I are working diligently, and we are making steady gains in bringing the vegan healthy lifestyle and the philosophy and the educational programs to this little town called Tafi de Valle. And it's in the mountains. It's pretty high up. It's somewhat isolated, but more and more tourists are putting it on their maps. You know, it's a beautiful place. The people are mostly very low income, and we were thrilled that we found a partner there named Alejandro Urciolo, and he was a pretty well-known musician. He was a rock star in Argentina years ago, and like many rock stars, you know, as an artist, he wanted to carry his art beyond the music, and of course, you know, the music business changed. So what he did was move into this valley, bought a property, and started converting it into a museum. Let me see if I can show you. I don't have a whole presentation ready, but well, I won't even take the time now to go to our website, but you can look it up there. And he's done a fantastic job of creating a museum to commemorate the culture of the Andes. And now we're converting that cultural message into its vegan components. So that's one of the reasons we wake up in the morning, and it's really exciting that today they're inaugurating a new section of the museum that is outdoors. It was done by, well, let me just, how many pictures can I show you? Oh gosh. Well, you can see it in the coming months, because we're going to be working on that, promoting it. Because if we can build a little school / education center / community center in a place like that on a very low budget, there is hope for other areas all around the world, you know, where we want to encourage the same thing. And that's all I have to say.
That's not possible. I'm sure there's more you have to say, but no, that was great about your program up there. Any other comments about that? Again, we'll look forward to.
Where was that? Where was it?
It's the province of Tucumán, Tucuman. Tell you what, let me get onto the website and show you something more substantial. Hang on just a second. I'm going to pull up the web page. Ukupacha English. Ukupacha English. This is the one web page on our website that we duplicated in 2 languages, but let's take a look. Okay, can you see that? Can you see a nice big emblem? Okay. That's the banner. You can see here there are 2 highlighted items. One is I Care About Earth, and that is the program that Estella and I developed for kids, especially, where children make a pledge to do something good for the earth. And when the kids get involved in saving the earth, protecting the earth, helping the earth, then they become part of the Earth Guardians. Of course, you know, for people there, picture this emblem and all the information translated into Spanish. This is the logo for Ucupacha. We've shown it to you before, and it's a very symbolic logo. This vessel down here, which is like a pottery vessel, or it could even be a boat, it has this maze pattern, which is the symbol of prosperity. And the the rainbow above, and this little figure, which is a tree of life. There are 8 symbols built into this for another day. We're mostly interested in reaching the underserved people, but we also are opening the doors wide to the tourists. And we figure that's the way to gradually open the door for the local people to look at an alternative to the culture that owns them and owns their lives and dominates everything there, the dairy business. Here you can see Ursiolo. I don't know if you can read the words here, but he is an extremely talented, multi-talented, man of many interests. He has 2 degrees, and you wouldn't believe the economic hardships that he's going through, and we're going through it together down there, but we're making progress every week, setting up programs for gardening, edible gardens, family gardens, sprouting, music, Spanish and English lessons, and of course everything has a vegan dimension to it. This is the symbol for the, well, in Spanish, Guardianes de la Tierra. This over here is our little form that kids fill out. I can't blow it up for you right now, but you know, it's from Chef Estella, and they put here something that they're pledging to do for Mother Earth. I don't know if you could see these 2 little characters. Can you? Male and a female? Is it too small, folks? Can you nod your head if you can see it?
They're little.
Yeah, they're little.
Who are they?
Okay, the guy is a duende, and he is in blue, of course, and his female partner is in green. And these are little figures that express our message. They are local spirits of the earth called duendes. And these are the EarthSave or the Ucupacha versions. Her little sign says, Cuido Sachamama Ucupacha Vegana. I care about Earth, which is Sachamama, and she is the female vegan, the vegana. He's the male vegan who stands as a guardian of the earth. I love these 2 little characters. I just love them. And let me just show you another picture down here. There's Chef Estella's club. And here is a little, this is the collage about the museum and the Ucupacha Center. So this is the interior of the museum. This guy built this by hand. He created the whole museum with his own two hands. This over here, this outdoor object is a covered garden. So this is like a netting or a mesh that protects the edible plants that he's growing. This is the name of the museum, Museo Casa Duende. Duende are those little spirits of the earth, like trolls. And so this says the Museum of the House of Duendes, Mitos, which is myths, Leyendas, which is legends, and symbols. Look at this outdoor area for teaching. He built all these rock benches and formations, and kids and families can have workshops. He created this building. Look at that. It's all adobe. And that's the end of that. You know, the biggest problem we're having right now is that building an organization there is all done so far on his old phone. He has no computer, no tablet, and a very slow internet connection. So we were promised by a businessman in Argentina that his business would send a modern computer and a printer. And then we went and we're getting a commitment from the local internet company to give him a good internet connection. But very sadly, the businessman reneged on his pledge. So we're still at the primitive level of doing all the communications on an old phone with a dial-up internet connection. That's life in the third world, folks. You know, it makes it an uphill struggle, but every step we take uphill is a thrill. Okay. You know, I mean, when I heard that they had done all the work this week of clearing a whole new patio area, and we have a picture posted of people sweeping the sand and scraping the ground and clearing a new patio that they're inaugurating, and they are making some of Chef Estella's recipes as treats to sell and to give to people. We picked out 3 simple recipes that they can get the ingredients for and start, you know, offering things to the tourists and creating a vegan outreach program. Wish us luck.
Woo! Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Yes, a lot of work. That was possible thanks to Jeff. Yeah.
Stella, maybe we should tell them about our other project, which is
It is rewarding, yes.
Mujer Mariposa.
Mhm.
Do you want to tell them about the event coming up, which is mostly for women, but men like me go too?
Yeah, in March. In March, there is the International Women's Day. That is going to be in Oleta Park, but it's going to be in Spanish. I can write it there, you know.
Did we put it on Facebook yet?
No, no, you have to make the post also. International Women's Day.
Despite what you might be thinking.
Oleta Park. Oleta Park. Okay. Mariposas Group. Okay. International Women's Day, Oleta Park, Mariposas Group. We will put the complete invitation. Maybe it is in Spanish, but I don't know whether we should put it here. But if you know somebody, anybody can go, you know, so it's going to be a great celebration. And I'm going to be talking briefly about taking care of the earth and some news about the United Nations. This is the year of the United Nations declared the year 2021 of fruits and vegetables. So it's going to be, and anybody can go.
Yeah. I don't speak Spanish very well, but at this annual event, I don't feel that I'm missing anything because visually, the group gets together in a park, Oleta Park, a butterfly garden area. They build a huge mandala on the ground made of vegetables and leaves and natural objects and
flowers. To bring flower, yeah.
So and we have incredible, stunning pictures of this from years past. So let's say last year there were about 30 women there, children, women, a handful of men, and we have drumming, we have ceremonies. It's remarkable.
Honoring the earth also too. Honoring the earth, yes.
If you can get to Oleta Park that day and spend 2 or 3 or 4 hours with the Mujer group, it's a memorable experience. And you know, you'll experience the power of an indigenous culture. We have shamans there, musicians, spiritual readers, and it's just a powerful, powerful connection to the earth and all the people, the ancestors, Father Sky, Mother Earth, and us. By the way, best wishes from your EarthSave ambassador, Vegananda. You know, you hear about all the yogis, Satchinanda, Muktananda, all the Nandas. Well, we have our own called Vegananda.
All right.
Who is that?
That's Arlen.
Arlen?
Yeah, Arlen is he's
He joined us 2 weeks ago, yes?
Yeah, right on.
He was a guest invited from out of state, and he shared some vegan wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a long journey. He knew the late Mr. Berry.
Mm.
Yeah. Arlen is our first roving ambassador, and he's been roaming around the country, around the world, for our local group for many, many years. And he sends me stuff every day. And what Arlen does is non-commercial. If there's an event in San Francisco or Houston, Texas, where they're feeding people as part of a vegan festival or a celebration, he goes and he works in the kitchen and he makes sure that people are fed. And he just goes all over the place. That's his mission. I have a couple of similar missions. One is that I will do dishes. I will wash dishes and pots at any time, at any place, including here. Oh, I got to tell you that today I got promoted. I got a promotion. Yep. I'm a full-fledged chef now, plant pure live food chef. But my specialty is in food art and photography. So you'll see our post today. The meal that you saw today was prepared mostly by Chef Estella, Chef Carlos, Chef Lemoy. I made the simplest dummy dish, which is slicing the beets and putting walnuts with them. That was my masterpiece. I sliced the beets by myself. No, but
That's
really,
a good combination.
yeah, it's a great combination. And I'm also responsible for all the carving of things into hearts and decorating everything and creating the photography. So, from now on, I walk around like this. Look. Yes, sure. I'm a chef. I'm a real chef. Chef.
And also about our fantastic artists.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I forget?
Yes. So
Well,
you need to do in there, yes.
she's going to be on the post. See Facebook. By tomorrow, we'll have a big post there.
She
And
made
there-
it healthy. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, everybody saw in the video the centerpiece of the table was Linda's. We call it a table cloth. What do we call it? It's not a tablecloth, but it's a table cloth. A piece of cloth that's decorated that sits on the tablecloth. Okay.
It's a message for you, a message of love. Message of love you can put anywhere. If you need a little love, hang it up.
That is beautiful that you make with the
All right.
airbrush. And then she made earthy too.
Oh yeah. She made earthy. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to get the new T-shirt out. Hold on.
Don't go nowhere.
I saw on the EarthSave main page website that there's a weight loss seminar beginning for 9 days. It's a free summit.
Yes.
Just to let you know.
Yes, the one of AJ. The one of AJ about weight loss.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I just saw it there and I thought it might be interesting to somebody to know. Those summits can be pretty interesting.
It's very nice. Who created that, Dave? Jeff?
A lady by the name of Linda something or other. I don't know who
I
it is.
thought it was Linda's artwork. These are limited editions.
That one's a limited edition to one. And it's going on sale for $300 as our fundraiser.
Show it to them. Maybe they were interested.
Somebody can buy that today for $300. Eventually, the price will go up if no one buys it. Do I hear 300? Do I hear 300? 300,
I
300.
don't see it. Where is it?
Show them, show them.
It's the camera is set up not to be very good for this kind of thing.
Oh.
But
Next.
There we go. Oops, hold on.
Main holistic, yes.
Humane, holistic, healthy. Health.
it's a huge double X T-shirt, which it's folded up on the hanger, so you really can't see how big it is. But it's like a huge, I don't know, it's like almost like a tent for a woman. It's a super-sized T-shirt. You can wear it around your house. You can have a friend in there with you, or keep a child inside of it with you. It's that big.
Or you can hang it on the wall also.
Yeah, but you need to hang it on a glass wall so people can see the back.
You know, maybe you could take a photograph of that and show it to us next time.
Oh yeah, it's going on the V store, and so we'll have photos of it soon.
Okay, cool. Okay, checking out. See you all next time.
Linda, thank you for coming.
Okay.
See you soon.
Cheryl, I checked out your Instagram page, Cheryl. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's so yummy. I think I followed you. If I didn't, next time I go to it,
At least it will make you hungry.
right. For sure. All right.
Okay. Well, Jeff, we're rounding up the today's meeting. I think what I'd like to suggest is next week we include that 10-minute version of 101 reasons to go vegan.
Mhm.
We can do that next week to our those in attendance.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, the guy is very inspirational. It really gives you a perspective on how people look at things in their life based on customs or what they're used to when they grew up. And it really gets you to think about a lot of things in your life that you learned, you know, from your parents or from your school. And you think that's the way it is, because most of us, I'm sure, were brought up with a certain cuisine, and we think that that's the way it should be. I remember that last year, for instance, when we had our vegan get-together here in Broward, when we had the catered get-together, and we had such a great time with all of us, we had a lady who came with her son, who's now maybe, I don't know how old he is, 14 years old or so. And she spoke, and she introduced herself and her son. And she said she brought him up since birth to, you know, since a child, to be vegan. So that's all he knows, and he's still following it, and he's healthy, and he's doing well. He's thriving. So it's really what you know. And a lot of us in life are not always blessed to have people that, well, you know, a lot of people didn't know any better. So you can't blame people for doing things that they don't know. So it's up to all of us in our adult years to decide what's important to us moving forward, and take the strength and knowledge of what we've learned from one another and experts, and see how we want to lead our lives in terms of our health, our diet, the way we, the way we live our lives sustainably or not. So, that's what I've learned.
Yeah, Stu, that's a great point, because you hear quote unquote arguments. Well, it's hereditary, and there is a slim hereditary process there. But, if you have a family that grew up on pasta and bread and all that, and most of them are overweight or obese, yeah, that's what they mean by hereditary. It's not the genes, okay? or big meat eaters. Well, you know, and that's like you said, tradition. And somebody has to stop that tradition at some point, or all they're all going to die of obesity and heart disease. But if I may backtrack, when Chef Estella was talking about the oil, we have to remember that if you take a tablespoon of oil, that's a tablespoon of saturated fat. That's all it is. And when you think of it in that respect, that's kind of gross to me personally. And the other thing was, not that we eat meat, but those who do, cows are fed GMO corn and soy. And there are people out there who say, "Oh, I can eat whatever I want. You know, I jog, I ride a bike, 10 miles." Well, for those of us who are old enough to remember Jim Fixx, he was a well-known athlete runner, and his doctor kept telling him, "Jim, you can't be eating this fast food restaurant. These hamburgers, you're gonna have a heart attack." He said, "No, no, no, I run 10 miles. It's okay." And lo and behold, one day he was out running and he fell over and he died of a heart attack. So people, it's the idea that Chef Estelle was saying, on the outside, somebody can look great, but on the inside, that's what counts. And heart disease doesn't start at 25 or 30. It starts at 10, 11, 12, or maybe younger today with the frankenfood and all the non-food the kids are eating. So those were just a few little points I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody want to share any closing remarks about today's program?
It was a wonderful program. Wonderful.
Fact-filled with all kinds of information for all of us to learn and share and exchange amongst one another. All of it was valuable. I want to thank all of our guests and participants. I want to thank Susan. I want to thank Cheryl. I want to thank Kathy, Chef Estella, Professor Estella, and Vegan Man. And again, I'm Stu, your moderator and host. I was happy to participate today with all of you, and I enjoyed it. And I want to thank you all. And we'll stay on for a couple minutes, but officially, unless there's any closing remarks, I'm going to close today's meeting and say thank you very much for joining us. It was great.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day to you all. Enjoy your week and keep in touch. www.earthsavemiami.org. All right.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.